Hello, I'm Sally, and this is Coming of Age, and today I am interviewing Trent Rhodes. He has written part of this book, Harmony in Chakras, Volume 1, The Chakra Collective, edited and conceived by Olivia Whiteman. Anyway, how are you?
I'm doing very well.
Good. I think what you do is fascinating.
Thank you.
And what it is the way I understand it, is helping people get in touch with their chakras in order to advance themselves in a profession,
Yes.
as well as in their lives. And making them understand that those two things go together.
Yes.
And they evolve together. But you can say it much better than me.
Sure, we'd love to. So, in essence, chakra in Sanskrit, the very basic term, is a wheel. In different ways, it's also explained as an energy center. It's also explained as also conduct. And so I focus...
Conduct.
Yes. That element I focus on because the way that we can also understand the energy center is also in how we express ourselves. And so there, depending on the 7 of the main chakras, there are more, but here we cover 7. And out of those 7, each center has corresponding behaviors, traits, qualities that tend to show up strongly, or they may show up in a weaker way in our daily life.
And how do you know how they're showing up?
Well, this is where we go into the different centers and what they mean. And so starting from the root, and then we have a sacral, and then we have one at the solar plexus, and then we have one at the heart, and then we have one at the throat, and we have one at the third eye, and then we have one at the crown.
And the person that comes to you, do they have to learn all this stuff?
Not immediately. The
I
important
see.
part is to understand sensing. And so this is where meditation comes in, where we focus on how to understand the recognition of our sensitivities in our body, and really feeling what it's like to be in our body. At that point, the individual then becomes more acute, more keen on how their behavior connects to how they're feeling. And this ties also into the workplace.
Let's see. I just heard about a person who wanted to do one of these sessions with someone like you, or maybe it was you, I don't know. But anyway, this person refused to accept some of the things that were found out. For instance, some chakra was weaker than the others, and that chakra had to do with being interviewed. And it turned out that this person was a very bad interviewee.
Mm.
Very good at her work, but you have to get the job first.
I understand. And in that case, just that description tells me that there's a challenge with the ego. And when we're talking about ego, we're talking about self-esteem and the ability to recognize the need for change, the need for improvement. What is that associated with in terms of chakra? That's the solar plexus. So that would be our yellow, that
Right
yellowish
here.
color. Yes. And so this is how we're able to recognize the quality and then connecting that to the chakra. So if we know there's a challenge with the ego, we can associate that with the yellow chakra.
But how do you tell somebody that?
Well, I would explain it differently, especially if they're very new. We would talk about the challenges with the ego. We would talk about challenges with denial and challenges also with recognizing the importance of change and transformation. As the client is brought into that space, they then are introduced to these other terms, these other languages that can connect them energetically.
So it doesn't upset their ego too much
No.
to hear it in other words.
Ideally. However, there is a point, as a coach as well, it's important for me to be authentic with this process. And so there is space to be more tender, but there's also space to be very challenging and direct with the need for change. And at that point, it's up to the aspirant, as I call them, or the client, to really be present and say, this is really what I want. if I want to change, if I want to have that better interview skill, if I want this end goal, this job, I have to be willing to do this work, and that this is what I'm here for.
Thank you so much, Trent Rhodes.
Thank you.